Did much more than Vayikra. If Avraham Avinu went around and was influencing everybody, that they should do the same and they should also announce Hashem's name, so why doesn't it say that in the Chumash? It should tell us Vayakri. Why does it tell you to write Vayikra? So the message here is Mikol Mokem Tzarech Leida as Oib Vil Imzal Eingehen dem Vayikra. If a person wants that the Vayikra, that he himself, when he calls out Hashem's name, that it should be sincerely and it should affect himself, Muzayin der Vayakri. For that, you have to see to influence others that they should call out Hashem's name. Darfst du sehen, as jene soll nit nur wissen, nur euch ausrufen. So you have to influence others, and not only to teach them, which is a simple shvat Vayikra, that he announces and teaches, and others know and others hear, but it's more than that, that you have to see to it that they themselves should also announce Hashem's name. All right, so this is a beautiful pshat over here in the Al Tikra. The Torah writes Vayikra for a reason, because the point of the pasuk is to say Vayikra, you should call out Hashem's name. And then the pasuk explains, and how could you really call out Hashem's name, and it should be sincerely and with an emes, and it should really affect you. So Chazal clarify, Al Tikra Vayikra Ela Vayakri. The way to get that Vayikra done is through the Vayakri. This is always the way the Rebbe teaches the Al Tikra. Give you another example. You know, anyone has another example? Al Tikri Ma Ela Meya. How do you come to Ma, which Ma is the bittul, the yira, and so on? Meya brachas that you say every day, that ignites the neshama. So we're not taking away the pashut pshat. The pashut pshat is the Ma, the bittul of the person. Chazal are teaching you how do you get to that Ma. It's through the Meya brachas. Same thing here. The way a person influences himself is when you influence others.
So why did they say al tikra? They should have said gam tikra.
Al tikra means you will not be successful. You will not be successful to accomplish the Vayikra if you'll just stick to the simple pshat and you don't use the method that Chazal tell you, which is Vayakri. When you'll use the method of Chazal Vayakri, then you'll be able to come back to the Vayikra. I'll take it, but if you're going to read it just Vayikra, you won't be successful. Which is an amazing point. I mean, B'pashtas, a person could be successful with his own Avodas Hashem to himself, disassociated from anybody around him, and he's a tzaddik in pelts, which is the expression that the Rebbe would always use, and he doesn't have any shaykhis of hashpah in any way, shape, or form on anyone else, and he's good. Alt is good and fine. The fact that there's a hashpah on somebody else that he could have a shaykhis to, that's already additional. That's a second shlav in a person's aveda. But the Rebbe is saying, no, it's not shlav based. It's not a second step in a person's aveda. The only way a person can really have dvar avaya penetrate his own heart is if he goes and affects another yid. Similar thing that Rebbe also explains in the lashon that we say in davening every day. Barcheinu avinu kolanu ke'echad. So it says kolanu, that the bracha and the hashpah and the connection that there is between a yid and the Eibishter only comes when there's kolanu, when there's everyone's united as one. It's not just an added thing that there's one yid together with another yid, but the achdus and the togetherness is what brings the hashpah to the person himself. There's other places in Chazal. The Rebbe explains the Sinyan. But over here, I mean, the Rebbe doesn't give a hesber. The Rebbe doesn't explain why this is the case. Why does a person need a vayakri in order to even experience his own personal vayikra? Why is it necessary to have the vayakri? There's no hesber here. So there's different ways how to explain this. I mean, one simple pshat how to explain this is because when a person goes out of his way and he does things for others, so then there's a bittul involved in that a person is ready to share with others. Whatever a person does for himself on his own level, so then he's mugbal within his own world and his own level, and there's no bittul involved in that, or at least not as much at all. When a person is shares with others in any way, so then he's going out of himself, and then he's really connected to the Eibishter. As long as what he's doing is totally just for himself, and there's no vayakri, so then there's going to be a lack in his vayikra as well. This was the Rebbe's mantra all the time. That every yid, you know an aleph, teach an aleph. You could put on tefillin for somebody, put him on tefillin. You can say to somebody at dvar Torah, you can give tzedakah, you can share with another. A person has to always be thinking about someone else. And then it will really penetrate your own heart as well. Let's continue inside. Where are we over here? Hagam as busy, at jene nit gewusst von gar nit. Although up until this point, this individual knew of nothing. So now, what do you have to see to it is as al shrayin keiloilam, that he should announce to everybody keiloilam. Right, so the Rebbe is over here saying that you could talk about influencing another. It's not just about teaching the other person, but you have to take him from one level to the next and actually from one extreme to another. Instead of him being a person that knows nothing, not only should he now have knowledge, you teach him, but he should actually himself come to announce and teach others Kei Loilam. And the Rebbe is medayik. What does Kei Loilam mean? Nit Keil Ha'olam, which means Hainu Shelo Kusuim Bifnatzmai Va'olamim Bifnatzmai. Not that the world is one entity and the Eibishter is another entity. Ela Shelo Kus Moishel V'Shelo Taloilam. Ela Shelo Kus Moishel V'Shelo Taloilam. The Eibishter is one entity and the world is another entity, and the Eibishter is the ruler over everything that happens in the world. Rather, Kiyim Sha'olam Ve'ela Kus Hu Kulachad. The entire existence of the world and godliness is really one entity. When you look at the world itself, what is the true identity of the very world itself is the godliness that's in it, that gives it chayes every single moment. That's the taich of Kei Loilam. Who is the individual that has the breitkeit, that has such a heart to come and say, that I could go and do this avodah like Avraham Avinu himself, to go around and to influence other people and to announce to everybody and to bring others to announce the same. How can we demand this of everybody? Somewhat of this is shaykh to every single person. And if it's shaykh to every single person, so he's obligated to do this. And these are the kaychas that are given to every person. This comes from the Anhag of Avraham Avinu, and then from him onward, Va'ad Bechlal, and all the other tzaddikim, until including Ha'anhag Sheher Anu Kvektushis Mervichami Admor, the conduct of the Friedige Rebbe, Shehem Salus Aderech V'Nasnu Lanu Kaychas Hazeh. They paved the way and gave us kaychas to do this. So there's this vart that everyone always repeats, that the Rebbe didn't have only followers, the Rebbe had leaders. Right? The Rebbe created leaders. What he's saying over here in the Maamar, Al Tikr Vayikra Ela Vayakri, the Rebbe took his chassidim and put them in a position that they have to create leaders. Not only did he create leaders, but that they are the people that have to create other leaders. Al Tikr Vayikra Ela Vayakri, not to be leaders of congregations, of communities, and so on. They have to go and take an individual that knows nothing and turn him into a leader. Shliach, shliach, shliach. It's much further than that. Correct. Goes a step further. This is the chavivis that was mentioned earlier of the seventh generation. Because of the chavivis of the seventh generation, so there's more kaychis that are given and revealed for us that previous generations did not have. Through this kind of aveda, we draw down the presence of the Eibishter here in this physical world. And as we mentioned before, the shechina, the presence of the Eibishter, comes down into this world even more than before the chet. As it says regarding Mashiach, that Mashiach will be even higher than Adam Rishon himself. And the neshama of Mashiach, the level of Mashiach, will be even higher than Adam Rishon as he was created by the Eibishter even before the Chet of Eitz Hadas. The Friedige Rebbe, he carries our illness, and our pain is his pain. He suffers for us. And he is suffering and crushed because of our sins. So the Rabbeim take upon themselves all kinds of things for the sake of their chassidim and for the sake of Klal Yisrael. Just as he has seen until now, all of our tzaras in Mehera, v'yameinu ba'gala didan, speedily, yigal tzayin marisai megalas aruchni. He will come to redeem the sheep that he's the shepherd of this galus, of the spiritual galus, the galus agashmi, and the physical galus gam yachtav, yamideinu bekeren oira, and will place us in a corner of light. Avol kol zehu adayin rak iluyim. This expression of keren oira is only revelations, but vayd yaiser will be much more when Mashiach comes. Sheyakashe v'yachad eisanu, the Rebbe will connect and unify each one of us b'muhus v'atzmo sein seif baruch hu, with the very essence of the Eibishter. This is the whole purpose of all of creation and the ishtalshlos of all of the worlds. Then the chet of etzadas, and then correcting it. And also when a tzaddik passes away, which brings a great elevation into the world. It's all to bring a greater level of glory of Hashem in the world. And when the Eibush will come and take us out of Golos, and there'll be light in the dwellings of all Yidden. So then, we will sing again. Moshe and all the Klal Yisrael will sing. The Eibush is a king forever. As we say every day in davening. And the Gam B'Lashon HaTargum, we add also what the Targum says, Havaya Malchusei Koem La'olam La'olmei Almaya. That this will come down in the Lashon of Targum, meaning that it'll be translated to be accepted and understood in the language of the world. And we conclude that Hashem will be one, and His name is one, which means there'll be no difference between the Eibishter Himself and the way He's referred to by His name. It'll all be revealed and the same. This is all brought about through a tzaddik when he passes away from the world. Although externally, what happens when a tzaddik passes away is more difficult than the churban of the Beis Hamikdash. Since we've already gone through all of these things. Now it's dependent all on us, on the 7th generation.
What's Shekol's and Nice this book on Tzadikim?
The kayach of all of this happens through the Tziluk and Shel Tzadikim, which brings a new oyer into the world. Yeah. Okay, let's start a new Maamar. Ready? The next Maamar is somewhat of a hemshech, but yeah, let's see. Ready?
Ready.
Hayishev es baganim machavedim makshivim l'kailich. They sit in the gardens, and the friends are listening to their voice. Maybe so the Friediger Rebbe brings in his Maamar, which is the second Maamar following Basi Lagani, Beis Pirushim de L'choireim Hafchim. There are two interpretations to the word Ganim, which seem to be opposites. Pirish, all of the first pshat he brings there is the Ganim Hainu Olam Haza. Ganim, which gardens does it refer to? Just like in the pasuk of Basi Lagani. Which garden does it refer to? The Eibishter refers to this world as his garden. So in this pasuk as well, Ganim are the gardens in this world. Hainu Olam Haza v'yesheves b'ganim koil knesses Yisrael and afutze b'geilam. It refers to Yidden that are scattered all over Golos. Roye b'ganim shalachedim, grazing in the gardens of strangers when the Yidden are in Golos. Even during such a time period, in the time of Golus, when Yidden are expelled from their land and they're all over the world, Yidden enter into Beis HaKnesses and Beis HaMedrash to learn Torah and to daven. Sehine chaverim, shehei malachi asharis, the chaverim, who are our friends? They are the malachi asharis, shenikraim chaverim, and the reason why they are referred to as chaverim is mipnei she'ein behem loikin, loisin, v'loi tachras, there's no jealousy, there's no hatred, and there's no competition amongst them. Makshivim l'kailech, are listening to the voice of Yidden learn Torah. And as we learned, and the Rebbe will quote this later on in this Maamar, it's not only the malachim that come to listen, the Eibishter himself also comes to listen, and then as the pasuk there concludes, Hashmiini. The Eibishter says, I want to hear your voice learning Torah. There's a tremendous maila of the Yidden learning Torah here in this world that even malachim want to receive from the oir of our limud Torah. That's one pshat. So according to this, Ganim refers to Gan Eden. Pirish habeis, but now second pshat is, the Ganim koyal Gan Eden. Ganim refers to the various levels of Gan Eden that there are. That the neshamas are sitting in Gan Eden. Totally opposite pshat, sort of. Not Olam Haza and not in the Golus, but in Gan Eden. There are many levels in Gan Eden. Generally speaking, they're divided into two levels. Madregas Gan Eden Tachten, Gan Eden Elyon. The plural term refers to the two general levels of Gan Eden Elyon and Gan Eden Tachten. Chavedim Makshivim, so who are the Chavedim that are listening? Hainu Neshamas Shebegan Eden Shenikram Chavedim. It refers to the Neshamas that are in Gan Eden and they are listening to us learning Torah. As he explains in the Maamar, and it's in parentheses there, the lefamim neshama min neshama netzelas cholu, that the neshamas are chavedim because they affect each other, they influence each other, they share with each other, and he uses the term netzelas, that one neshama gives off light and shares with another, and with the expression of atzilus. What's the diak of this lashon of atzilus? We can explain why the Friediger Rebbe quotes this expression of neshama min neshama netzelas, the mashmienu. What he's letting us know here is the relationship and the connection of one neshama to another in Gan Eden ain't stam shayches. It's not stam any kind of relationship. El neshama min neshama netzelas. They connect to each other, that one reveals the true identity of the other. When you have two entities that are separate and one is mashpia to another, there's a relationship between the two. Whatever the mode of relationship is, whether it's up with seichel, whether it's emotionally, midis, but they are two entities. Then you have a relationship where one is so connected to the other that one just reveals the true essence of the other. Each one is connected and unified by etzem, because really all neshamas are one. So in Gan Eden, the connection of the neshamas is in such a way that their neshamas are revealed, and there, one neshama reveals the true identity of the other neshama, and that neshama reveals the true identity of the other neshama. That's the pshat of Atzilus. As we learned before, the pshat of the word Atzilus, so the Rebbe brings it here again. Pirish inyan Atzilus nisbar leah. What did we say earlier? What's the true meaning of Atzilus? It doesn't mean that one shares something new that the other doesn't have. That's not the meaning of Atzilus. Rather, the pshat of Atzilus is Shu Gilui Hahelem. You are revealing what was there before in a concealed state, and you're bringing it down, and you're revealing it, and you're bringing it begilui. Hainu Shu Davar Echad. It's the same thing. Whatever was before now comes down and is revealed and expressed. Whatever was there before, it's the very same level, the very same thing. It comes out and is revealed from its concealed state. So the same is also with the relationship between neshamas and Gan Eden. Each neshama reveals in the other neshama his true potential or the true koyach of his neshama that he had on a concealed level.
So it's the neshama in Gan Eden to the neshama in Elam Hazeh.
The neshamas to each other in Gan Eden. The way
so when we say the minor lashon,
netzelas,
we're talking about
the neshamas in Gan Eden. I believe so.
Not a connection to us.
I don't think so. Well, it brings shvat to us.
No?
I don't know.
Of course, that's what it says over there, that we affect. Okay,
I have to see the whole minor lashon inside. He brings over here the part of the lashon in Ha'ara Aleph. But it refers to the neshamas of each other over there in Gan Eden that are sharing with each other. Just like it is within a person himself. This idea is not only regarding two different neshamas that are sharing with each other, but also regarding every person himself. There are kayches hanelamim. A person has potential, deep energies inside of him. That a person can then bring out and express and activate, that they should be used and function, not only be in potential. So when something comes out from potential into practice, it's not something new. It's there. It's all inside of him. You just have to reveal it and express it. So therefore, so the Rebbe now brings back, this is a side point here, but the Rebbe mentions again what it said earlier in the previous Maamar, that because Atzilus is a place where there's nothing new there, Atzilus, whatever exists in the world of Atzilus, existed before Atzilus, it's just coming out. Therefore, you cannot say that the purpose of creation is for the world of Atzilus. So there, that's the Lashon of the Alter Rebbe, there's no purpose in this. There's nothing new that you have in the world of Atzilus, that the Rebbe created the world for Atzilus. Whatever is in Atzilus existed already before. The only thing that changed is that it's in a matzav of Yerida, but it was fully there before already. Ella rather, the purpose is the creation of this world below. The world here below is a bria chadasha. It's new. Yesh ma'ayin. It's not something that was there before. Okay, it's a side point that we explained before. Same is also true as far as the relationship between one neshama and another neshama, or as the Rebbe just mentioned, similarly regarding a person himself, that there are things that the neshama had. The neshama is very deep. The neshama is ein sof. A neshama is a chelik elokam imal mamish. So if the Eibusher himself is ein sof, the neshama itself is also ein sof. One neshama is able to help another neshama reveal the fullest potential of what he has in his neshama. Not to give him only something new, but actually just to help him reveal what he has. Or the same in a person. A person has the kaychas hanelamim, and you have to reveal those concealed kaychas and bring it out begali. Shehu inyan atzilus v'gilei halam. That's what happens in Gan Eden, where it's a place of revealing. One neshama reveals another neshama. Let me just mention that what the Rebbe is saying here is a different shot than what we learned in the Maamar of Tavshin Chof. Wasalagana Tavshin Chof. The Rebbe there was also medayik this lashon of neshama and neshama natzelas. And there the Rebbe said a different shot. There the Rebbe said that although in general it says in Kabbalah and Chassidus that Gan Eden is in the worlds of Yitzirah and Bria, not in Atzilus. The Erech Klal Gan Eden is in the world of Bria. Nevertheless, the Frierdiker Rebbe's meram is that there's such a high level of Gan Eden that's related to the world of Atzilus, and therefore he uses the lashon neshama and neshama natzelas to show how high the level of Gan Eden we're speaking about here when we say that the neshamas l'mayla and Gan Eden are listening to us learning Torah. Over here, the Rebbe is saying a different shot. Even if we're talking about a low level of Gan Eden, even if we're talking about Gan Eden Atachten, which is in the world of Bria, or perhaps even in the world of Yitzirah, the expression of Natzelas refers to the type of relationship and sharing that there is between one neshama and another. That when they learn, it's a different kind of chavrusa. They learn b'chavrusa and Gan Eden also. That's what he's saying here. But it's a different kind of chavrusa. It's not the back and forth, a discussion that you have with a chavrusa, but each one says something to the other that reveals what's really going on in him. And the other one could tell the other one what's going on in you. Each one could reveal the potential, the true potential that there is in the other. That's the pshat of Netzelis here. It's a new pshat. It's a different pshat than we learned in the other Maamar. Yeah, so we're left with the question that the Rebbe will explain in the Hemshech of the Maamar, that we have two opposite pirushim in Ganem. Does Ganem refer to Elam Hazeh, and not Stam Elam Hazeh. Ganem Shel Acherim, the lowest place that Yidden are found, scattered around in Golos, or does Ganem refer to Gan Eden, including Gan Eden Elyon, the highest levels of Gan Eden?
Something to really a hell of a what